time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
All right, Israel. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat
Right.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Israel. Shabbat shalom.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look, hey, brother, they already got the one in the chat box.
All praises to the Most High. All praises.
Yeah, hey, so we got a special lesson, like always, for you, Gen Z, a generation of vipers. So hold on to your seat. We got some more videos that we're going to be showing as well. But hey, before we get into the lesson, I just want to give you all a reminder. So the calendar, we have all the 9 lessons. We created a playlist. So sometimes when you get some downtime tomorrow for the Shabbat, you know, and you just want to get into some scriptures, go to the Mind of the Brotherhood, go to the playlist, you know, click on the playlist tab, and you're going to see the 22 Enoch Hebrew Israelite calendar, all right, in the playlist. And all 9 lessons are already have been uploaded to that playlist. So that's something that you can go over and over and, you know, share it as well too. So, and it's gonna be plenty of hours of just scripture. So you'll have your work cut out for you, but you can just go over and review that calendar so we don't forget, because that's an important thing. You know, we have to constantly rehearse this word, and we're not going to learn it by just getting one scripture here and one scripture there and then thinking it's going to stick with us. You know, you got to keep, just like eating, you know, you got to keep eating. It's like you got to keep studying that word. And if you stop studying the word, you know, spiritually, what happens? You know, you're going to get weary and end up dying spiritually. So, brothers, it's important to stand that word. All right. So before Brother Eitan takes it over, so, you know, let's go back some thousands of years. Let's go back to the very beginning. All right. When the Most High created Adam, of course, when he created Adam first, he had everything laid out, everything before he created Eve from his rib. Now, Eve only had one job to do, y'all. This one simple thing she only had to do. Everything was laid out for her. The whole garden. She had all the trees that she could possibly eat of and everything. She had it made. She had it made. The only thing that she had to do was to submit to her man. That was it. That was it. Brother, what's so hard about that, brother? It seems like that's just the hardest thing for our people, you know, especially this generation. And so because Eve, and you know the crazy thing about that is that when she brought that fruit back to Adam, knowing that what it would do after what it did to her, still enticed and still insinuated. I mean, I think that has to be the purest wicked of wickedness, because how are you gonna, you know what you're doing and then you're proceeding to do it anyway? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's just that. Man, that's just like letting your brother go off a cliff. You know he's about to walk off the cliff, and you know you have every power to stop it, but you continue to just watch him just fall off the edge. Well, so I can't think of anything more wicked than that. You know.
Well, you know what's going on is really we got a degradation, right? A degradation of the community. It's just of the nation at a whole, right? What I would like to think of, especially when the scripture is talking about in Luke 3:7, how it calls us a generation. Well, it calls the Israelites a generation of vipers, right? More so than not, I would think this new generation, right, is really taking their own doctrines, and then they're just not believing about anything that's going on in the past, and they're just running with their own ideas. Right, changing what was once, what was once good into wickedness, right, and what was once holy, and they try to make it seem like it's unholy, right? Just a viperous tongue, a person that's a snake, like a backstabber, like a person that's making up deceitful lies, things that they just don't want you to believe. You know what I'm saying? They try to always twist things up and try to make it seem like nah. You should look at it this way. It's about feelings. It's not about what the Most High says. It's not about facts or any other things. It's the way that I feel. And with my venomous tongue, I will continue to deceive you until the cows come home.
And the word is clear. Lean not unto your own understanding. And and like you said, the problem with this generation is that it's like they feel like they know everything. Our generation too, and just our people in general. But when we're talking about this younger generation, because that's what we're getting to now. Look, we're not condemning this younger generation, but all we're doing is just bringing out the fact, because y'all see where this is going. Now, these younger generations, it was never ever supposed to be where all these women are running around here with kids, 3 kids with 3 different daddies. It was never meant to be that way. How can you raise a kid? How can you raise a kid in that environment? When his brother got a different daddy and his sister got a different daddy. All 3 of them got different daddies. You see where the unbalance of that is going to come, and you see, like brother said, the degradation of our people. And you got to understand how did this all come about? Because this didn't just happen overnight. This was a series of things that have taken place over decades. Starting with the bringing in of the welfare, and it was for white people only. Matter of fact, they wouldn't even let black people for a time, get on welfare. And then when they came out with civil rights, they came up with the bright idea. They said that we could get these black women on welfare, then we can get the men out the home. Because that once they initiated that, according to the laws of the welfare and everything, you can get government assistance, but you couldn't have no man supporting or no man in the house. If they did, then they could take you off government assistance. And I knew growing up, I knew some people like that, where they actually took them off of government assistance because there was a man in the house. And that's what I'm talking about. When we talk about these younger generation and why they don't understand the importance, and when we see, it's like harlotry is at an all-time high. And it's like to compete, it's like the competition to get the highest body count. It's like winning a trophy to a lot of our people. It's like they're trying to come in first place. Well, let me see if I can have the highest body count, because I'm going to be the baddest bitch on earth. I got the highest body count. I mean, what kind of sense does that make?
None at all. None at all.
What you got, brother?
Well, let me along to the side. That goes along with a lot of things, though, right? We just have a lot of dissension, right, amongst our people for some reason. True, we do have the heathen. They are pressing the matter, right? They are definitely pressing our oppression a little more than they should. We got some of our people that are just diehard coons, right? They're like tap dance, shuck and jive, fetch a step, for the white man, in this heathen land. And then what they'll do, they'll sell you short for it, right? We have just a lot of things that are going on and that are really trying to be justified, right? And then we see this movement that we have that's really has been against our people from the beginning, right? There's no denying, right? There's been something against our people from the very beginning, but at the same time, we allow it, right? We got all this, so-called quote unquote freedom now. But do we really do anything with it? We really don't do anything with it. We really don't separate ourselves from the heathen. We're just comfortable with being in this land of the heathen. And then you have your brothers and your sisters, man. They'll try to convince you that hey, you're not being oppressed, right? You're not in the land of the heathen. You're having a good time. You have just as much right as everyone else, right? When you know for a fact that no matter what civilization that you've seen, right? If you go and you take over a land and you take over the civilization, you haven't taken it over for your slaves to become just as equal participants in all the great wealth and things that I've gained through my warring, times and conquests, right? Mm-hmm. That's just not something that you do. And our people are so sleek, right? Sure, we added to the technological advances in the building of the nation, right? Of this nation, but this land is not ours. Right, just imagine our people actually believing that this place is ours, right? Mm-hmm. We don't even question where we've been from. Man, you talk to our own people and they'll tell you, hey, brother, don't worry about where you've been from. Hey, you an African, you an Egyptian, you all this and you all that, right? You got sisters getting online and telling the white people, all right, don't go see these wokeism, these wokies, right? They'll get online and they'll say, don't go see the movie Black Panther, right? Now, it's not to boycott the movie because it doesn't have a strong male figure in it, right? It's to boycott the movie because it's to open up more seats for more ignorant so-called Israelites, right, to get in the seat, right, to see this absolute garbage of a movie, right, that absolutely destroys the leader of the nation, right, and then turns around and then makes the leader of our nation the absolute opposite of what the Most High says, right? And these are these same people that Kanye was complaining about that are in control of the government, right? That are in control of all the media outlets, right? It's the same folks.
That's right. Hey, brother, talking about Black Panther, let's talk about that for a minute. I'm going to bring something up right quick because I want y'all to know, like, it's getting really bad ratings. All right, I'm going to tell you why. It's because people, brother, saying this whole woke, they realize they're tired of this stuff. And so there's a lot of people who went and watched it, but they said it's doing worse than Thor: Love and Thunder now. Mm-hmm. Now in this cast, we already know what the agenda is to push. Now you just even looking at this, and then the brother, what's his name, M'Baku, they made his character much softer. Now I didn't go see it. I don't plan to go see it because I don't want to go see it. I don't want to watch that mess. Because all it is just a feminist agenda that they're pushing on people. And what's so sad is that these people who are pushing this agenda, they only make up a very small percentage. But because they have so much money and influence, that they're pushing this stuff on government, they're pushing this stuff on politicians and all kinds of stuff, pushing it in the churches. And that's what you see. So, brothers and sisters, you got to wake up. You got to see what's going on behind the scenes, okay? And, there's a reason why me and Brother Aton is commencing this 7-year war. You think we're just doing it just for the hell of it, and just because we just want to pick on somebody? No, we love our sisters. We want to see these things turned around. But the word says in Isaiah, says that spare not, cry loud, spare not, show Israel their trespass. And we are called to cry out, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So when you see this movie Wakanda and other stuff that Disney's coming out like She-Hulk, same thing, y'all. It's this feministic agenda where the woman never had to go through anything, but the man always had to go through training and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, you just put a woman in there, she's all superhero and godlike, godlike. Like where the power come from? You see what I'm saying? No one in the real world is not like that. You take take about 10 women and give them certain tools and see how they survive in the wilderness. Just throw them out there for like a month. Let's see if they know how to survive. Let's see if they know how to build a fire, or build a tent out of nothing. And you won't see nothing like that. They'll cry the first minute they get out there and touch that wilderness. Mm-hmm. But you see what I'm saying? They'll make an imaginary agenda to push before you to make you think that the women are taking over. This is one thing when I hate when women say is that well why is it that more women are successful than men? Well, you got to understand who the war is against, and also women outnumber men almost 7 to 1 now. And who is incentivized the most? It is the woman. All right. So when you understand who the war is truly against, you sisters don't need to be complaining and talking about, all these men, the dogs, and all that stuff and everything. Go back and do your research and find out what the hell is going on before you even open your mouth. Because the men are being demolished. The black men are being demolished as we speak, emasculated in ways that you can't even imagine. And our women are sitting up there bragging like, there ain't no men around, this and that, they dogs and stuff. And, it's crazy. You got up.
Well, let me read this, right? Slock you, all right? Let me read this. Matthew chapter 12, verses 34 and 35. It says, O generation of vipers, how can ye, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Mm-hmm. Right? And that speaks volumes right there, right? I'm gonna read 35 too, right? It says, "A good man out of the treasure of his heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things." Right. So, starting back at verse 34, when it says, "Oh, generation of vipers," right? What is, it's like, let's say that term in itself is widely used for like an untrustworthy person, right? Especially like a deceitful man, like for as like romantic context or anything like stately matters or just being to another brother. You know what I mean? You're real cunning, have real malignant wicked behaviors, right? Now, just going back on what brother Daniel was saying, now, are we really, it doesn't matter, right, if these sisters are going to these colleges and getting this so-called education, right? I mean, cool, it's cool, right? It's different. There's a difference between being smart and there's a difference between being wise, right? And see, that's the two things that we got to learn. Anyone can go to school, right? And then, you could, pour in countless hours and learn the white man's doctrine, right? Or whatever it may be, what I'm saying, other than math, science, and tech, and things of that nature. Sure, man, you can learn his history, you can learn his, his psychology, and all these other different things, right? That's not a, sure, you can study that, but does that truly bring you wisdom, right? Wisdom lies with the elders. Wisdom lies with the scriptures, right? Wisdom lies with the commandments that are passed down, right, from our forefathers to the children, to their children's children, and so forth and so on. That's where we fail as a nation. Sure, man, the sisters can go to school and say they're educated as hell. That is fine and dandy, but do they know what to do with that? Right? Where is the wisdom at? Where is the old heads that can give you instruction and tell you how to move with your money? Or, they've been in the world long enough where they see how people move and they understand the emotions and the way that people work, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what we're missing. Like out of our community, right? By keeping the commandments, especially living into an old ripe age, just for example, like Moses, right? He was in his 80s before the Most High had brought him to work, to deliver Egypt. Why? Because he was wise then, right? He, he had already had come from where he was. Remember now, Moses, in his youth, had struck down an Egyptian just because he had saw him doing his brother wrong, right? Moses was a hothead, right? I would say not like a hothead like that, but hey, man, he was ready to kill without issues, right? It took him all the way until he got into his 80s for the Most High to be able to work with him. The Most High could have saved Israel at any given time, right? What was in that, what was it, 400 and something years of slavery over there, right? The Most High could have saved our people at any time. But why did it take until Moses was in his 80s, right? That's because he's already done been through a life, right? He's already learned the knowledge and the wisdom, right? He's already gained wisdom through his many years of living. So now he's able to work with the Most High, right? And he's out now. The Most High ain't got to worry about Moses going off and doing nothing crazy. Just think about this. The whole time the Most High was working with him, he only messed up one time. That's when he struck the rock instead of speaking to the rock like the Most High told him, right? That's how wise that man was, that the Most High dealt with him. Right now, going to the white man's school and getting a paper does not mean you're wise, right? It may mean you're smart, sure. Anybody can be book smart. You're pouring enough hours, right? But you bring this false doctrine that you learn from these heathens onto your people, right? And see, it says how you being evil, right? Our people are evil because they don't keep the commandments. They're soaked in the doctrines of heathens, right? So they don't even know that they're being vipers. They telling you, hey, you know what? Hey, you can go ahead and get you a white woman, brother. They're easy to deal with. Don't even know that you're condemning your soul, right? These sisters out here, they trying to look for zaddy, right? Going out there, land with the heathen man, don't know they didn't, put their soul to destruction. You think it's good that you're gonna have, I'm gonna have an experience where I'm gonna be able to know, this brother don't hit it. This brother don't hit it like this brother, or this brother don't do it like that one. You're not supposed to know about all that. because you're supposed to stay a virgin until marriage. But here you are with all these experiences on these different men. Now you've been tainted from your husband. This is wicked as hell.
And this is the process that's been going on for decades, you all see. And you see how things are happening, you know, and it didn't happen overnight. You know, when you go back to the 50s, you listen to the grandparents, great grandparents, they was telling you, hey, look, stick with your own race. Don't, you know, no sex before marriage. All that stuff. That was like the value within our community. So what happened with that? And speaking on the whole school thing, you know, there's nothing wrong with women going to school. And but here's the thing though, like when you get a woman to get out of her order, and she gets that power and she begins to exercise that, it can become very dangerous. Why? Because Most High created women to be in touch with their feelings. Those feelings were meant to massage their men and comforting their men. It wasn't meant to be used as a source of power, and that's what we're seeing right now. So now it's like, because women are the greatest manipulator of feelings, because that's what they are. They have feelings, emotions. You know, men, we are mental, we are thinkers, we are fixers. You know, so when you have a balance that's unbalanced like that, and you have these women that's in power, you know, it can become very dangerous. And we give an example. I know a lot of brothers who moved in with women. I told them, I advise strongly against that. So do not move in with a woman, because, you know, they can get very in touch with their feelings, and if you do the wrong thing, they can kick you out, because guess what? You under their power, you under their authority. You have no say so, because it's not your house for one, and you're just there. And lo and behold, every last one of them end up getting kicked out. So, you know, that's, you know, and it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer, y'all. And again, you know, we're just telling you the facts. We're just telling you the truth and how these things are going to end up. And when you're dealing with this younger generation like that, you know, we're going to see all kinds of madness. You know, this newer generation, man, they're just full of delusion. Mm-hmm. Right? It seemed like the parents' fault, you know, has just passed it down. Really, I know the lesson is called Gen Z, right? And that's the last one that we're on right here, right? But it really started with the millennials, right? The millennials, you know, and then you know, we got a mixer, you know, so then we got an in between, what they call the zennials, and then we have the Gen Z, right? The little 90s, you know, 80s, 90s babies, right? Millennials, right? And then we got the zennials, the 90s, between the 90s and 98, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then we have the Gen Z on out, you know, 2000 and on, right? You know, that's, you know, as we see just the breakdown of the mental capabilities, we have just seen this over the years, right? And you know, Brother Day and myself, you know, we're a little bit older than most. And you know, and I truly see why my parents were like, oh man, you know, I can't, what is going on nowadays? This crazy music, this what's going now, you know, I honestly feel like my parents did, you know, back in the, you know, saying back in the day. Right. I feel like, you know, because I understand what's going on, I'm listening to the music that we have now, and I don't understand anything that's going on. Right. And I'm like, and I'm looking at the you know, just the doctrines, right? And you know, back in the day, it was unattractive to be a person with you know, saying that if you are really promiscuous, right? If you're promiscuous, that was an unattractive thing, right? Everybody, you know, pretty much, you know, fit into their own respective categories, right? You know, you didn't have you know, saying of course you had somebody that was you know, but now, right? Now it's not like that. Now you have, you know what? Fly me out, right? Because you know, you can pay me, you know, so you can pay for a trip, you can fly me out, right? And then you know, I'll have sex with you, right? And now women think that's a good thing, or they'll think that's a come up, right? Or they'll say, hey, this brother got to pay for this brother got to pay for that, right? That is a come up, right? And then you know, I'll give him some sex, right? But we got to look at it. How low, right, of the bar is now set when the price, when there's actual a physical denomination of currency, a price for your you know what I'm saying, for your soul, right? That you're gonna lay down with these dudes.
when you got to realize that virginity, right, and just to keep one of themselves holy, right, that is going to save you from a lifetime of trauma, right? But back in the day, you would have to marry a woman, right? Women were smarter, right? They had a lot more intelligence back in the day, right? A lot more wisdom back in the day, because before they would lay down with a dude, right, you would have to marry them, right? There is no free rides. There's no free milk. There is no none of that, right? If you wanted to get with me, right, you would have to, you have to get married.
And see, brother, that right there tells you that back then, a woman truly knew their worth. Back then, because of the environment they were, even though they grew up in Christianity, all that stuff, but they knew their worth. And like you said, hey, no sex, before marriage. And I like what Brother Jeremiah said here. He says back in the day, a young man had to come to meet the father and mother for approval. And that's true. That's what happened to me. I had to get, I had to get the approval from the father. He had to give me the blessing. Because you don't just, back in the day, you don't do that. You don't just run off of somebody's daughter like that. That'd be considered as a curse. So you had to be approved, and the father I had to get approval from. I had to have a job. Not only a job but a place. How you gonna support my daughter if you ain't got no job and such and such? You ain't got no place. You ain't got no car. And it should be. Knows what he's doing, right? Yeah, and it should still be that way today. But because of this generation of, we have these kids growing up with multiple daddies, growing up with different daddies, and half of them don't even know who their daddies are. You know what I'm saying? And how's that going to look now when you got a young man that's coming to age and he's asking somebody's daughter or something, and the man's not even around, the dude don't even know his father. You know what I'm saying? You see the unbalance in this stuff, and it's like it's getting worse and worse and worse by the day. And I can't. If you're from the hood, y'all know what I'm talking about. And all across the U.S., it's like that. You go to every town, and I don't care what it is, whether it's a small city, a large city. You go to all the hoods. Our people are concentrated in the hoods. That's where, and that's where the work is needed the most. In the hoods, because our people are just, man, it breaks my heart when I see our sisters, walking around and then not only that, but bragging about it. I got about 5 baby daddies, and each one of them paid child support.
And see, the thing is, right? Salaki, right? The thing is, like Brother Daniel was saying, like, without no fathers in the home, right? Who's to vet the men that are coming in to date the daughters, right? Yeah. Nowadays, right? You got all kinds of men, right? You got these what is it? These podcasts, right? That are telling men to hey, you know what? Why don't you just sleep with all these women, right? And then let your main girl be okay with you out there cheating, right? You know what I'm saying? Let you, I would say cheating, right? But let you be okay without, without you over there fornicating, right? With other women. Now, a real G, right? Now, if you really wanted to be, so-called these titles like alpha male or what they're doing, right? If you would have all this money, whatever, why don't you marry 2 or 3 women? You know what I'm saying? Hey man, you marry 2 or 3 women, you're not gonna have time to be looking at no other woman. One woman in this society is really hard enough to deal with as it is. So then, if you want to, if you can't control your sexual urges, go ahead and marry you a couple more wives. It's it's just that easy, and that way you could be in the realm of keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and not being a wicked ass nigga out here just doing it up with the sexual diseases and everything like that. Spreading your seed to to all these different women. That's wicked.
Hey, right? on that note, while we're on this note, I got a perfect video that explains this now. This video that I want to show you all is with Kevin Samuels. Now, he's done it with a woman. She has multiple kids by different daddies. All right. And this is the perfect time to show this clip, because I want you to see just the mindset, of our people. It's like there's no regard for life. There's no regard for morals at all, man. It's like the morals have just completely gone out the door. And even let's just say even our women weren't even in the church or whatever, But man, at least have some morals, man. But that's even gone. All All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip right quick, brother.
Like a roll.
Your husband, why y'all divorced? What would he tell me?
Domestic violence.
Okay. How often did you beat his ass?
No, I'm the victim. And I'm okay with that. I thank God I got out alive.
And how long you been divorced?
For 2 years.
How long were y'all married?
7 months.
So now hold on. I know I got a new calculator, but you got kids that are like in their 20s.
Right.
About 2 different guys, about one.
About one.
Why didn't you marry him?
The last one?
No, the one that impregnated you once or twice.
Oh, he went to jail.
Oh, so you pick ass whoopers and felons. And then you're going to complain about what other... I need you to stop right here, ma'am. I need you to slow the whole French toast down. I'm not going to let you get on here and talk about what black men are not when you pick and dudes that whoop your ass and that are felons. See, I'm not going to sit around and let you black women just sit around and talk about hey, black men ain't here and they ain't this, they ain't that, when in your own life, you pick shit.
Okay, I had to play that because I wanted to bring something out a lot of times. And I hear a lot of our sisters, especially the ones who have multiple kids, well, I never could find a good man. Well, then the men that they chose, they either fellas or they were beating the hell out of them. You know? And when you go through that stuff so many times and everything, then all of a sudden every single man becomes a dog. And you can't differentiate between a good man somebody who's righteous, keeping the law, and somebody who's going to just dog you out. You know? This is what we're dealing with, Israel. This is the generation that we're dealing with, and it's scary. It's scary as hell. I'm just going to go ahead and say it like that because it's like every single. And I'm out about. Like I said, I travel a lot. You know, with the uniqueness of my position, I travel all over the states, sometimes the country. And everywhere I've gone, every time I see sisters, they got kids from different daddies. Because I talk to them, I'm like, "There's a father in the picture." You know, he's trying to witness him for them. And nine times out of 10, the father was never in the picture.
And you know what's crazy too, right? It's like you know what I think about how our nation is being raised. You know, like I said, we have all these single mother homes, and then everybody's being raised by women, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, these relationships, right, are also being ended by women, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but a quitter has always been looked down upon, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you have, be a champion, or like raise champions if you have that quitting spirit? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you can't stick it out. You think everything's supposed to be, hunky-dory, fine and dandy, and things like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think that, life is supposed to be one good, laughing good old time, then, you got it wrong. If you're going through school, just the same thing, like, all these sisters that are going to college, when they have to take a test they don't want to take, right? They don't want to do this, right? But you got to do this thing to get to the end result, right? Which is to get in their degree, right? So if you're in a marriage or if you're in a relationship with a person, right, you have to, it's you being strong through the rough times, just like the vows say, right? And making it all the way through the end. At the end is where you get the gift at, where you can just, man, you ever see old people, right? When they done live together for so long and they're old and married, right? Right? They ain't going nowhere. They're not going anywhere. They're not getting divorced, right? They have already put in through all the hard years, and now they just lay up and chill, right? You go to Banana House, right, man? You know what it is. You know what I'm saying? They always got ice cream for the kids, soda pop in the refrigerator, and they got everything, man. They living up, you know what I'm saying? Pop's on the grill. Pop, he out there, he on the grill. They living it up. Old people are always happy. Man, you don't never hardly see, two married old people that are out there grumped up, and they're not happy. But our nation is so weak and noodle back that now we can't even make it past the just a few months of dealing with somebody, right? You want to just hop to body. Man, that's wicked as hell. Even the men. If you want to, if you want to sit down and you want to lie down with a woman, right, you better make sure that you don't have fornication in your heart, right? That you're not looking at that sister with lust in your eyes, right? You got to look at that sister in a righteous way. You got to think of, well, if I have a child with this woman, is she going to be a champion, right? Is she going to be able to raise champions? Or does she have that quitter spirit, right? Does she have that spirit that she's going to give up, right? Before, you know what I'm saying, and only focus on herself and be selfish and, you know, give up and then force the child to grow up in a 2-parent home, even though we're in captivity, right? Even though we're being oppressed by the white man, even though we try to say any small thing about our heritage, right? We get shot down and get cried anti-Semitism when we're the real sons and daughters of Shem. It's crazy.
Right. You know, I want to share. I want to show you something in Deuteronomy right too, because it talks exactly about our people today, and this applies to our people today. It's Deuteronomy 31:27, and it says, "For I know thy rebellion and thy stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, ye have been rebellious against Yahweh, and how much more after my death." This is Moses talking. Because, you know, our people just seem like they were just prone to being stiff-necked. They were prone to drama and just all sorts of stuff. You know, just lose faith just like that. See something, miracles, nothing. You know, don't even believe anymore. And now we, you know, fast forward to this very time in this generation. You know, we're talking about, hey, this next generation is going to have to pick up the baton and run with it. It's scary. Are they truly ready to run with this baton? Because you know, sometimes, and I know you're gonna laugh, but when I say this, but sometimes, man, this generation Z, sometimes I think that they were purposely cloned, you know, to be a disturbance to the awakening. I know I'm gonna probably get some bricks or some, but I know that's not the case. But sometimes it seems like that because it seems like our people have been so integrated, and they've grown up in this whole different generation, this melting pot, where like they can't even see the distinction between themselves and their enemies. You know, that's why sometimes I think that this generation is nothing but a bunch of clones. You know, I pray that's not the case, but you know, man.
Yeah, it's a lucky Israel. I know we're just like kicking it tonight, right? But you know, it's just the problem that we have with our people. It's just, man, we're so backwards, right?
Yeah.
You know, it would help that we have to know, like, whenever we're thinking about the scriptures and all the people that are in it, that we have to know that it's definitely, you know, talking about our people, right? You know, so you can't have these folks that are these Christian churches, right? You know, so you're trying to bring these heathens into our, you know, saying, and I mean, like, they're literally trying to bring another nation and then try to call them our race, right? You know, so that's what's technically going on right there, right? You know, what I'm saying, if you go into the scriptures, all of this stuff is just, you know, for our people. Right, you can't have these folks out here that are telling you, "Hey, man, you know, I can't keep the commandments. Hey, don't keep the commandments. You can do whatever you want because Paul said it." Right? Because they don't understand the scriptures. Now, one thing that I will show you, right? You know what I'm saying? That is, you know, let me share this real quick. All right. Now, I also read other books too, right? That have been translated from the Hebrew, right? And in the scripture right here, I just wanted to read right here. It says, this is the Gospel of Nicodemus, right? It's I would suggest, right, before you guys get into any of these other books, please, right, read the rest of the scriptures. Read all the rest of the scriptures first, so you know how to spot any kind of mistranslations, right? And it says, "And Adonai, stretching forth his hand, said, Come unto me, all ye my saints, which bear mine image and my likeness," right? Bear my image and my likeness, right? And I bring that out, right, to say that, oh, you know what, hold up, right? You know what I'm saying? I bring that out to say that, you know, we got to understand that the Hamashiach looks like us, right? You know, and what is the likeness, right? What is the likeness? What is the likeness of Hamashiach, right?
100%.
You know, and it says his head and his hairs was white like wool, right? As white as snow, and his eyes were like a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice is the sound of many waters, right? So we see there for a fact that we know that the color of brass is brown, like, you know, Brother Daniel and myself, right? We know that, you know, woolly hair is what Brother Daniel and I have, right? And all Hebrews, right? We have woolly hair. So then when we go back to the scriptures and we see that, okay, so this is what Hamashiach looks like, right? He has woolly hair, right? And he also has fine brass skin, right? Which means he has brown skin. So then when we go back to the other scripture, it says that Adonai, talking about Hamashiach, stretching forth his hands and says, "Come unto me, all ye my saints, which bear mine image and my likeness." What does that mean, right? Does that mean that Hamashiach is going to be somebody with straight hair? Does that bear his image and his likeness? Absolutely not, right? If you are if you're an albino heathen, right, of another nation, you're not of Israel, you don't bear his likeness and his image, right? So when we look at the scriptures and we look at these things, right, we have to hold all this truth to our heart so we know how to fight against these wicked ass people that stay trying to bring us down with the doctrines of the world, right? All of this, freedom, right? All of this, so-called freedom. You're not free in the land of your captivity. You're not free in the land you didn't fight for and win. There was no tons of bodies of heathens on the ground from an all-out bloody war, right? You didn't do none of that. These heathens, right? These pale heathens came over here, right? And they did all that. They killed all of these Indians and they did all of this stuff to take over this land, and they did not do it just for you. We have to get out of living over here, right? We have to get over, looking at celebrating all these holidays that these heathen, evil ass days that we have coming up. Like these folks, they're gonna be out here trying to celebrate Thanksgiving now, right? You're gonna be out here, eating you a turkey for what? That's not your holiday. That's not your holiday. You didn't do nothing to even gain that day, but you're out there, chopping down on some turkey, hooting and hollering and cooning around the campfire.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, right? Click the link, right? If y'all want to come on and say something and talk or whatever, please click the link, all right? Like we really have to just, I don't know, as a people, man, we just have to, and then it'll be our own people that we got to watch out for, and that should be the worst part of it, right? And that's the worst part of it.
But y'all need to know that the war is real, Israel, because especially and I say this, and you see me say this a lot, but our women have been weaponized against the men, and that's just a proven fact. I'm not lying when I say that, and I'm not just making some stuff up. And women are going to have to see, the women are going to have to get to a point where they're going to have to, and I don't know how it's going to happen. Unfortunately, a lot of our people are going to end up being destroyed, but they're going to have to get to a decision. And it can't be when they turn 60 and 70 years old, because I see a lot of elderly who are coming out and saying that, Seed of Israel, Brother A-Time, you're right, because now that I see what I've seen, I was the one who had multiple kids by different daddies. I was the one who was hoeing around. I was the one that was doing this and that. But they're up in age now and seeing it's, and I just hate that our people would get it at that age. That's too late, where they could have known their worth and had a righteous brother and just preserved themselves, But we're living in a time of heavy lasciviousness, and the whole competition for body count is like winning a trophy these days. And brother, I don't know if you had something you wanted, but there was a clip I wanted to play. It was a brother that's talking kind of what I'm talking about now, this new generation, and what their expectations are, things like this. Now, before I show the clip, this doesn't apply to all women, so don't take it personal. I want you there is some foul language in here, so I want you to to chew the meat, spit out the bones, but the brother is spitting out facts. All right. But before I show the video, Brother A-Time, did you have anything that you wanted to?
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. I got another scripture next.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and show this clip, y'all. And I want y'all to really pay attention to what this brother is saying, and you're gonna see what's going on here. All right, here we go.
So they only fuck with niggas who got bread, and then turn around and be mad when them type of dudes who got a bunch of money want every bitch. These same bitches will turn around and pay Chris Brown $1,000 to take pictures with him. You feel me? See, they hold up. They charge broke niggas to chill with them. But the more money you got, the less you gotta spend. See, women only want to deal with dudes who don't have no opinion. That's why you see a lot of these bad chicks with these goofy ass, soft ass niggas who ain't gonna challenge them on nothing, who ain't gonna ask them no questions. Any man that got his own shit taken care of, don't need their money, don't need their pussy. They don't want to deal with a nigga like that. They want a nigga that they can talk to crazy and disrespect them because they don't want no structure. They scared of real men, you feel me? Because a real man ain't gonna let them talk crazy and do all that goofy dumb shit.
So modern day men are more feminine more than ever.
Definitely.
God.
And so y'all see the issue here, and that is true for a lot of, especially I call them hood rats. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Hood rats, and this is what you see in the hood rat world all the time. But a righteous woman, a real woman, a righteous woman, if a woman is truly righteous and she has submitted to the Torah, she's not gonna have a problem submitting to the man. Let me read that again. And y'all don't understand me, because if a woman truly is submitting to the Torah, she's going to truly submit to a man because she's going to understand. She understands the Torah. And if a woman says that she understands the Torah and does not submit to a man, then she's a liar. She doesn't understand the Torah. Period. And that's a huge problem right now, and that's why so many women have acquired this manly spirit. You know, I want to be the boss. And then they blame the men for leaving. No, men just don't get up and just leave like that. You know, there's some compilations behind that. There's some cause and effects behind that. And that's what our sisters fail to realize majority of the time. You know, but because they get into this mindset where they feel like, you know, we're more successful than black men, and you know, and we're this and we're that. You got to understand, men still make all the money. Men still build, still building this world. Women did not build this world. The women did not lay the roads and the train tracks and all that stuff. They didn't build the skyscrapers and what have you. You know, women didn't do that. Men did that. So just understand that before before a sister starts getting big-headed and realizing that she's the boss and everything else, and nobody can't touch her. You don't realize that the Most High will reach down and touch these wicked women. They get out of line like that. Yeah, bro.
Well, let's go to Psalms 140. Right, Psalms 140. Right, it says, "Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who are purposed to overthrow my goings." All right. Now, I read this and to say that, this is something that we need to be playing as a whole against these damn heathen, right? Because what they have is most definitely, right, they have sharpened their tongues against us, right? They have most definitely imagined war against our people, and they do it constantly, right? Just the things that they try to, make up on the low, they try to push on us, they try to keep us in the media, always in a negative light, right? They want all the world to be scared of the so-called Negro, right? They want you to think that, we're predators, that we're violent, that we're unruly, and that we're dumb, right? But really, right, we're the salt of the earth, right? We're the Lord's chosen people, right? But the only way that these heathen are able to do these things to us is because we don't keep the commandments, right? We continually perpetuate the wickedness to each of our brothers, whether it be gang violence or talking about, having sex with a bunch of hoes, or anything, right? These things are the things that we just continually perpetuate instead of teaching our brothers righteousness, right? Righteousness is what we need to teach each other. Hey man, you see a brother that's talking about, yeah man, I got this girl last night, man. You got to make that brother feel uncomfortable, right? Make that brother feel like he shouldn't, he don't want to talk to you anymore about fornication because you're gonna make him feel uncomfortable. Once you, and then every brother should do that. Once you pass the message on, that brother will start feeling it in his soul that, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, right? And then the next brother will feel that way. Hey, you know what? It's not cool to have sex with all these women, right? If you see a baby mama out there, this woman is vulnerable, right? Don't be up there trying to slide up and have sex with some baby mama. Hey, let that woman die out, We need to keep the righteousness up. The only place for that woman is her baby daddy. That's it, right? We don't want to spin them narrative or spin the rhetoric and have them thinking that, hey, I can go over here. There's a man over there, and there's a man over there. We don't want them to think that. We want them to deal with their respective baby daddies. That way, the next generation that raises up, right, her daughter will see that, hey, you know what? Maybe it's not a good idea to have babies outside of wedlock. Maybe it's not a good idea that the price of vagina is at an all-time low. Maybe I need to be chaste, chaste and hold my virginity until I get married, because that's where it's at. I don't want to be out here like my mama because that no man wants to deal with her at all, because she can't submit. The only man for any woman that's had a baby is her baby daddy. Leave these women alone. Dealing with a baby mama, that's a bad bet for your soul. It's not even a bad bet of dealing with her. Even if you could provide all whatever for the woman, it's a bad bet for you, right? It's a bad bet for you, my brother. Sisters too, right? It's adultery and adulteress right there. Y'all will get destroyed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, man. And so crazy. This is how Satan works. The Most High made it where a woman was only assigned to one man, only one man. All right. But Satan came along and he says, okay, we're going to break it down and we're going to let you be assigned to many, many different dudes. That's not how it works, y'all. Let me tell you why that's so important. Why a woman is only assigned to one man. Now, you may say, well, that's not fair. Then how come the men get to have multiple wives? There's a difference, because men are monogamous by nature. That can be proved scientifically and from the scriptures. All right. But a woman, because your vagina is meant to form to that brother, to that one man. All right. That's what it's meant for. So when you go out and you're having intercourse, you're having sex with these multiple dudes, what you're doing is that you're reforming, and not only that, but you're being humble, and a piece of that man is going to be in you. So you're carrying those spirits. And you wonder why some of these women are so damn crazy. It's because they done been through, by the age of, it's said it has been proven by the age of 19 or 18, and I'm probably stretching it, because it starts even earlier. The average woman has about 50 body counts. Mm. Now, why would any brother want a woman who had to conform to about 50 dicks? So you see what I'm saying? And you see the problem with that. But it's like our people glorify that stuff, and it's like a champion, like a prize or something. Oh, I'm gonna see how many men I can get in 1 year, and so forth. But you don't realize that you're putting yourself further and further into the lake. Having all these spirits on you, and it's hard. It would be hard for a person to even come to the truth, because you have to fight through all those spirits that you had. And that's what this is why Israel, that we're at a dangerous place right now, because of that reason.
You know what?
Now you got, and because of that, you got brothers, having to go out the country just to try to find them a virgin, because finding a virgin in the U.S. is like trying to find a needle in the middle of the ocean. Go ahead, brother.
I forgot what I had to say.
But yeah, why he's going that? But yeah, but I mean, it's just, that's why it's so important for a woman to only be assigned to one man. And like H-Town was saying,
I remember now.
You got it? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Slovakia. Right. Sisters, the responsibility, it's tough, right? And I'm not gonna lie, right? But in this particular thing, right, you guys bear the brunt of the responsibility, right? We already see naturally, a man, just like we have right here, Exodus 21, the scriptures already say that it's possible for a man to have more than one woman, right? So that it's just a natural thing for a man to be looking at other women, right? Now, the thing is with the women is that for all these whores that we have out here, and these women that like to sleep with multiple men, right? That is the responsibility lies with y'all, right? Unfortunately, right, that's the way that the scriptures have said it. Because if we go, into Jubilees and into other books, we see that the woman is punished for being the one that's being promiscuous around the camp, right? She's the one that's put to death. That way, that because if there's no woman to sleep with, then there's no woman. So there's no a worry about the men have to do that. Now, right? If a woman is righteous and she's keeping her legs closed, then there's no worry of fornication running around, right? The value of vagina will go back up to where it's supposed to be, right? And the value of women would go back up to where it's supposed to be. Brothers will start opening the doors again, right? So you see a puddle down in the ground, brother throw his jacket down so you can walk over the puddle. Nowadays, you ain't getting that treatment. The brothers ain't doing that no more, right? It's not, because every single woman, well, I won't say not every single woman, but a lot of the women that you talk to, or a lot of women that you see, they got a chip on their shoulder, or they don't have that natural feminine aura about them that makes you feel that you want to protect them and you want to do things for them, right? It has that, they have that standoffish demeanor, that attitude on their face that makes you automatically want to turn your nose up and want to do something spiteful to this woman, right? Hey, and it's really terrible too, because if you come off feminine, really easy to get along with, and things of that nature, instead of listening to the rhetoric that we have with these demons that are constantly on these social media sites and things of that nature that they're spreading, right? If you really just embrace what the scriptures have said and just be a feminine woman, brothers will automatically want to do nice things for you, want to help you out with things, this, that, and women are not built to run the are not built to try to run this world, right? They're built to help their men run the world. And just because that you have these heathens now that have gotten this agenda in order, is that what they're doing is technically, right, they're getting the women out of the home so they can tax them, make more money, right? Then they can not only do that, but now they have control over the home, right? Because before, your wife, a husband had control over his wife, right? Far as like what's going on, like in the environment, she was in his direct sight of protection. Now I can make sure that my household, I can filter what's coming in and what's coming out, things of that nature. But now it's not like that. Now they got the women out there, out in the home. So now they got the government that can come in instead of the wife raising the children, right? The government are raising your children and putting ideas in their head. You can't really concentrate and stay on your kids and do everything because you're at work, right? While now they're teaching, transgenderism to children, right? When your kid can't do multiplication, he don't know what's 5 times 5, right? But see, that's the way these people got it. They got welfare checks, things of that nature. They got you down. They don't got no man in the home. You don't have no father figure. You have no structure, right? The men aren't getting their daily dose of manly attention and how to act and how to handle situations. The only thing they're getting is an overdose on estrogen, on how to freak out and complain and things about that, and why this and why that when they're going through problems, right? A woman shouldn't have to sit there and have the burden of raising a children and having to go to work and do all of these things by herself, right, man? You listen to these rappers, you listen to these folks that are out here in the street, they're talking about they got raising up with a single mother home, right? Most of the mother out there, I'm giving up sex to put food on the table, right? They on OnlyFans, right? They're out here doing everything that they possibly can that's not what God wants to try to get what? Try to get some money because they're wicked as hell, right? And then they'll try to flip it, and then they don't want they're so dark in their soul, right? They'll try to flip it, and they'll try to tell this sister because they're so how they say that what is that man, there's a saying. I'm gonna talk about some and how like people that are not happy, they're always dragging another person with them so they can remain unhappy too. You know what I mean? But I forgot the saying, but it's a saying, but it's
a misery loves company.
Yeah, that's it. That's the saying, right? Yeah, a misery loves company, right? Because we know that misery loves company. They're going to trick you with a viperous, snake tongue to trick you to think that, hey, what I'm doing is okay, even though it's wicked as hell, right? So why don't you try it? I went out and I got flued out, and I let some dude with a donkey, you know what I'm saying, and a camel, you know what I'm saying, take a steaming hot poop right on my chest, and insisted he paid me 20 grand. Wicked as hell, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you know that's wrong. You know that is degrading as hell. You know that's wicked as hell on all types of levels. You done up there let Prince Abu poop on you, right? You know that's wicked as hell. But then you're gonna take that same mind frame, right? You're gonna go ahead and tell, hey, don't worry about it, sister. You know, it wasn't that bad. It was only, you know, it was only a little pebble. You know what I'm saying? And then he paid me 20 grand, knowing good and well that man had diarrhea on you, right? You know what I'm saying? This kind of stuff is just straight up wicked as hell. Instead of like you know, keeping this stuff secret, trying to hide it or anything that way, instead you would go and you would try to perpetrate the same doctrine to some other person, right? And then you try to tell them that, hey, you know, it's okay what I did. It's the same thing that we know this this homosexualism, right? This homosexuality thing is wicked, right? You know, these if homosexuality was something that was, you know, it's a problem that they're trying to get the normal people, right? They're trying to, you know, why don't they get them a little fruitcake island and they stay over there, right? Where nobody can be bothered, right? Where they can just, you know, have their little island of wickedness, and then we'll have to, you know, it won't take long before Hamashiach descends, you know what I'm saying, the doggone, you know, an angel down with some lightning and just destroy all their ass, right? But instead, what they want to do is that the little small percentage, you know what, let me see something. Yeah, because I want to see what is the percentage of these people in the United States. You know what I'm saying? What is the percentage of homosexuals in America? Here it is right here, right? All right. 5.6% of the U.S. adult population is lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. U.S. adults estimate nearly 1 in 4 Americans are gay. 1 in 4 Americans are gay. What's that? That's 2019. Hold up. Let me see this. Slock age, bro. Let me share this screen with y'all. Stop share. And you got anything? Sorry about that.
Go ahead and pull it up.
All right, come on. Let me see. What's the percentage? I'm sorry about this video, but I ain't gonna lie, Israel, man. This is the most I absolutely abhor this behavior, right? Because I believe this behavior is it's predatory, right? And they're using these things to try to get at our children, right? And they'll try to tell you it's okay, and you know, you got your other homeboys and friends that you know, too scared to speak up. Man, those are weak, you know, weak people, right? Let's see, percentage of LGBT. That's 2022. That says okay. Okay, we have 2002, 2012, 2000. Okay, released Thursday. Okay, the Gallup poll that was released Thursday, we have 7.1% of all Americans, right, of our, you know, gay, right? So, right, and seeing that, right, and seeing that we have 7.1% of these people that are, you know, saying fruity in the booty, we're gonna know that what, right? This is an agenda. Why is this such a small percentage being pushed in every damn movie, every TV show, every cartoon, in the schools, and all of this stuff, right? Back in the day, man, we used to whoop these people's ass, stuff them in the locker, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Give them the boot in the bathroom, you know what I'm saying? Slap them upside the head. Man, that's the way they should be treated. You know what I'm saying? And now, I'm not over here promoting violence on these folks, right? You know what I'm saying? Because the scriptures say for us to stay away from these wicked people, right? Yep. To stay away from them, right? And we're supposed to rebuke them at every turn. If you see a wicked brother or sister that's a so-called homosexual, yeah, you need to rebuke the hell out of them. You're not supposed to be out there holding hands with the wicked, you know what I'm saying, trying to say that this is okay. Because that is going to be blood that's on your hands, right? That's going to be blood that's on your hands. Now, as I see right there, we got 7.1% of the population that are going of this people. But now they're trying to push this stuff, right, on our families, right? And the reason they're being able to do this is because what? The women are not, they smart, but they're not wise, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? You're smart, but you're not wise, right? Because if you're wise, you'll understand that a man should lead the home. Why should a man lead the home? Let's just say, just for basic genetics, right? A man is stronger than you. right? If you didn't have all this damn technology and all this other crazy stuff, if we did it as bare bones, right? A man is stronger than a woman, and on every day, you know what I'm saying, us more spiritually aware, more, you know what I'm saying. That's because, you know, what we like to do, we like to build stuff. That's what we do. We build all of this stuff, right? And then for women now to think that, you know, okay, for example, what's even more crazy is that the doctrine that this stuff is, you know, that they're going by is so diluted that okay, if the women are so smart, right? How come we don't see? We need big boy 500, Fortune 500 companies that are owned by all sister CEOs, and they're, you know, we don't want this. You know what I'm saying, complaining about, well, why I can't be a CEO? Why are you gonna be a CEO in a company your man built? You ain't do nothing. You say you ain't do nothing for that. You see how the thinking is all wrong? You let these folks, you know what I'm saying, sit, you know what I'm saying, speak to you in your ear like these little serpents, you know what I'm saying, these little viper spirits, they going on here and they tricking the nation. They tricking our own women against the men. You know, instead of, you know, even if you are smart enough to use, you know what I'm saying, these, and you see these heathen are like pushing y'all to the forefront, right? Y'all not smart enough, right? Y'all not smart enough, or y'all not wise enough to use the heathen, right, to bring up your man. If you see that this is a situation that's going on, right, why not use the heathen and the agenda that they're trying to do to empower the Israelite man? Why? If you know that you're able, if y'all able to more to get this amount of financial backing, more so than a brother, because you see that this is part of the agenda, why not do that, right? But instead, the sisters, they have ran, and they in a spirit of selfishness, right? They ran, and now they want to claim the spot because they see that you know, and they're helping these heathen put the foot on our neck. That's the damn sad part, right?
Right,
you can speak to a sister, she got straight hair, right? What do you think that is, right? And then she don't have her own hair. Man, you sleeping with the damn enemy, right? She go to bed, you know, with a wig on of the damn enemy, right? And you think that she's on your team, that she's gonna help you, and she don't even love herself. So how can she love you? How can she raise champions?
That goes to show you right there that, you know, that women have been weaponized against the black men, against the black family. That right there in your face. Everything that you're saying right there. How come the women aren't wise enough to see this, and how come they won't help these, these brothers? They see that the brothers of Homes, they see that the war is against the man. They see all these prisons being built and everything for the man.
Be right back, Doc.
You know, why is it that they did not come out for that? And see, and that's the problem with that, because, you know, our people are trained to fight with the heathens, not against the heathens, but to fight with the heathens. All right, I want to show you something in Psalm very quick. Pull this up. It says, Psalm chapter 2, I'm going to read start at verse 1. And it says, "Why do the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing?" Verse 2, "The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, and the Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill." And see, this goes along with Psalms 83. And I want to read verse 2 again. It says, "The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed." You know what I'm saying? And this is what we've been dealing with. So, you know, and it's like we have everybody fighting against us. You know, we got the heathens fighting against us, and we got our own people fighting against us. It's like we're getting hit from every corner, and then now our own women are turned against us. All right. Now you may say, well, you know, the men has been turned against the women. No, the women has been turned against the men, because it's the women who gets incentivized. You know, so that's why would a brother want to even marry their own, you know, when the woman benefits from breaking a relationship? And see, that's the problem we're dealing with. And I know how the court system is, because the court system always is going to incentivize the black woman. Now, there's been cases where yes, the men have gotten custody of the children, but it has to be one of those special cases. You know, the woman has to be damn nearly just strung out on drugs and about to die. You know, but if it's just some regular BS stuff, the woman's going to always win, and she's going to get the court decision, and she's going to be able to keep the kids.
They want that.
Yeah, that's
They want
that's
that child to be
9
raised up
times out of 10. That's 9 times out of 10. But there are cases where, you know, brothers do get custody. Because I know a few brothers who got custody of their children, but for the most part, these women get the custody. Why? Because the agenda is against the men. So the women are going to get incentivized. So all the courts are going to go towards the women's favor. And this is why you're seeing this agenda being pushed out in the movies. You know, with the whole Woman King thing and the Black Panther and the She-Hulk and many, many, many more being pushed out. Why? Because they have an agenda to destroy the commandment-keeping people of the Most High. They do not want to see they want their kingdom here. And as long as they can keep us, fighting one another, as long as they can keep the sisters turned against the black brothers, the Israelite brothers, you know, as long as they can keep us from keeping the commandments, the longer they can keep their kingdom. That's what we got to understand, Israel. And, you know, it took 40 years to go through the wilderness when it was only an 11-day journey, but it took 40 years. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying it's going to be another 40 years or whatever, but what I'm saying though is that because of our people's rebellion, it's going to take, y'all don't realize it's making things worse for us, for our people. And yes, we are as strong as our weakest link. And if the weakest link is out of order, guess what? Everybody's gonna be out of order. The whole engine is not gonna run, because you cannot run that engine without that broken weak link. You got to replace that weak link in order for it to be able to run in one unison. And me and Brother Aton, we keep the laws, you know, with all our hearts, mind, and soul and strength. But you know, you have a lot of people who are not keeping the laws. They claim to be in this faith. So, you know what I'm saying? Israel, things are gonna have to give. And unfortunately, many of our people are gonna have to just bleed out, because they refuse to either submit, or they refuse to come to the most high in his law, in his ways. So, you know, we're gonna keep throwing this truth down. We're gonna keep shouting the trumpet, you know, blowing his trumpet and crying loud, you know. And we're not gonna stop doing that. But you know, people are gonna have to make a decision, especially these younger sisters that are coming up. And you know, that's why we're calling for more seniors, you know, these women, you know, to come out and teach these young women, show them, so they don't make the same mistakes that our foremothers made. You know?
Yeah. These folks are, you know, they'll continue to try to convince you to be wicked, right? That's a problem, because not enough of our people are really speaking out, right? Titus 1, starting verse 13, it says, "This witness is true. Wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith, right? Not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth," right? And a lot of our people, they turn from the truth, right? They will tell you false doctrines, right? They'll tell you that, yeah, hey man, you know, it's okay to be wicked. Hey, you know what? You know, your baby daddy, hey man, you need to go ahead and leave him. You know, say, hey, go ahead and leave. Nah, man. You know, if you lay down with a brother, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, there is no thing in the scriptures that says you have to have a paper from the white man to say that you've been married, right? You don't need a marriage contract from the white man. You don't need a wedding ring or any of that, man. If you know what I'm saying, listen, right? If you've been laying with somebody for a long time, right? Or hey, man, you married. Hey, that's a wrap. In the Most High's eyes, you've already done that thing, right? There's a lot of things that we need to know as a people, right? We cannot, as a people, we have to be looked upon differently than the rest of these heathens. And right now, right, the Hamashiach seems like he's a long way from coming, because I can't tell our people any different from the heathen, right? It says, "Unto the pure, all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled," right? But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. Mm-hmm. They profess that they know God, but in works they deny him. being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. That's just like we see today in these Christian churches. You got all these women in these Christian churches, right? But ain't none of them virgins, but they're looking for husbands, right? We got all these brothers, right, that are out here, right? Hey, they can't hold down a real job, right? They don't know how to change a tire, right? And they don't know how to treat their brother with respect, right? They're not a leader of men, right? They're not a man that another brother will respect, right? They're not, you know what I'm saying? These are not brothers that follow the commandments of the way, right? These are not brothers that keep the law, statutes, and commandments in their forebrains, you know what I'm saying, right here in their forehead, so they know how to move throughout the earth, right? Pookie and Ray Ray are not the dudes that the sisters you need to choose, right? And I'm not telling you to go out here and pick some born ass brother neither. I ain't trying to tell you to do that, right? But right, because you know we have plenty of electrifying brothers that are in the truth, right? Got plenty of good personality, and they keep the law, statutes, and commandments. We're not telling you to go out here and just, you know, settle for any old damn thing, right? But if your father's still in your life, or even if you haven't talked to your father, hey, the next time you get ready to, you know, hey, have your father run by the band. You know what I'm saying? Use your father as a, you know, use your father as a lens to see through, right? You know, to see through any person you're trying to date or anything like that, right? Hey, you know what? I'll tell you this even, right? If you're still good with your parents and you're still good with your father, you need to move back into your home. Move back into your father's house. That's what I suggest for sisters. Brothers, you know, you need to be on your own, right? I mean, if you're already out, you know what I'm saying? If you're already out the house, brothers, if you're already out the house, you need to have everything in your own car, your own home. You know, you need to pay all your own stuff and be totally independent. You don't have, so that way you won't fall under any traps, right? Learn how to budget, you know what I'm saying, and things of this nature. Now, if you're a brother and you ain't made it out the house yet, right? I would suggest that you don't go out the house until you get ready to get married. That right there, that'll keep you, you know what I'm saying, from doing all kinds of things that are wicked because you're still in your parents' house, right? Same thing with the sisters, right? You know, you can't be out in the middle of the night and you're living with your mom and your daddy, right? That's just not going to happen, right? Especially if you're living with your daddy.
And get to the brothers, like when you were saying about the brothers, you know, that'll give you some time to save up and establish your stuff too. That's important. You're not just going to be living under your parents and not doing anything.
God.
You know, that's not what Brother A-Time is saying. You know, if a brother has to live with his parents and he's over, you know, over the age of 20, you know, use that time to save up that money so you can prepare to have your own marriage. I know some folks live with their mothers and they lazy bums and they.
Yeah, like in the scriptures, right? In the scriptures, right? The brothers and the women and the children, you know, just like these Mexicans, right? They bring the money into their home, right? You over there living with your mom and dad, you complaining about paying bills, man. You wicked as hell because you don't want to help. You want to be selfish, right? You need to help your people, right? If you're helping your people, guarantee your people will not have a problem helping you. You know, one hand washes the other. It's just that easy. Now, just like Brother Daniel was saying, if you're a brother, right, and you still in your parents' house, yeah, stay in your parents' house, but that you would save up, learn how to budget. So that way, when you do meet a sister that's worth marriage, right, you'll have the funds in order to buy you a home, you know, and, you know, buy you a home and then provide. That's what we're talking about. But you need to stay with your parents, right, and help them out, you know, while you're saving and doing all of that stuff, right? That's what you need to do. All of us need to do the same thing. Like, this is how it was done, you know, in our days by our forefathers. That's how it needs to continue to be done, right? The fathers, you know what I'm saying, when you raise up the sons will continue to help their dad until they move out and they got them a wife, right? The wives, right? You know, I mean, the daughters, they would stay in their father's house and they would work, right, to help out with the family all the way until they got them a husband. That's why it costs 40 shekels, right, to give up the daughter, because the father's literally giving up a worker. Right? It's not all of this, oh, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna be on, you know what I'm saying? Like how stupid are you, right, to go out, right? Run up another bill, you know what I'm saying? Like all that income that you're making in your job or whatever, you done went to school and you made out, you know what I'm saying? And now, you know, so all that income that you could have been making, right? Now you're giving it to a white man instead of bringing it back into your family, right? You know what I'm saying? Which will grow into the family fund, right? You know what I'm saying? Like our people don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, our people is a selfish as hell. As soon as we get something, man, we want to go out on our own and we want to do our own thing instead of, you know, looking back at our brothers and sisters, right? And then continuing to build on our foundation. Like we don't have a foundation. Our foundation is made of sand. Once our foundation is strong, right, and it's built on that solid rock, which is the Hamashiach, right, and then, you know, we focus our life around that, and then we continue to build, right, we'll have something solid that we can, you know what I'm saying, that we can build on, right? All the elders, the wise elders, they're the ones that should be having the money, right? All the families that we look back, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. That's how it's supposed to move. You're supposed to work, earn your way up, right? Help out your parents, provided they stay together, right? You know, I mean, like, you know, this is the stuff that we need to start, you know, building onto. All this stuff that I don't need, this one and I don't need that one. You know, we don't need to be a team, man. That's wicked as hell. That's doing nothing but bringing our nation down, right? Sisters, that, hey, I hate to say it like this, but y'all need to get the hell in line. Stop wanting to be a man. Stop running to run nothing. Y'all can't run nothing. If a man decides to, if he really want to, he can beat the hell out you and kill you just like that. And then what you running? You ain't running nothing. The only thing that's keeping this stuff at bay is, you know what I'm saying, at all, period, it's just because the situation. Just imagine we have a war going on. What's going to happen? Everybody going to fall into the original gender roles. You ain't going to have no strong black women out here, you know, running around when missiles and bullets is going off. You're not going to have that. They're going to be looking for some man to tell them what the hell to do. And that's the real, you know what I'm saying, and that's the truth, and that's the reality of things, right? That this fake, you know, of pseudo matrix that the white man has built for you to have you believing that, yeah, you know, I can just do everything, you know, anything happens, I can just run to the police, all that stuff, man. Listen, this stuff is not going to amount to a hill of beans when it's time for the Hamashiach to come get us, right? So that's why it's imperative that we keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, not for only ourselves, right, but also for our brothers and sisters. Because without that, man, we ain't doing nothing but build a void of weakness, and we're not going to make it. I mean, like, we're really not going to make it the way it is. Everybody just selfish as hell, right? The women don't want to work to the old. I mean, like, we got to work to get old, right? You got to work for that happiness, right? The happiness is not just automatically going to be there. You know, so for crying out loud, you know, so some people can't even stand them damn selves. So how in the world are they going to be able to, you know, so they got to realize when they're dealing with another person, it's not going to always be hunky-dory all the time. You're always going to have, you know, fun times. Right, you're gonna have to work to get through certain situations. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to, you know, you because a lot of people don't even know themselves, right? So if you don't know yourself, how you gonna be able to? And then another people don't even trust themselves. So if you can't trust yourself, common sense will tell you, right? You can't trust the next person. You can't trust whatever. So you have to put your trust in the Most High. That's why you know what I'm saying. Once you start trusting other folks and not trusting the scriptures, right? That's the problem. Like, you know, so we're not supposed to have the trust in each other. Our trust is supposed to be into the scriptures. And once our trust is in the scriptures first, then it can be into each other. You see how it'll branch out. But without that solid foundation that we have to build off of, man, we can't get nowhere. We can't get nowhere as a nation. It's impossible. All right.
Yep. Bottom line is, well, you know, y'all know what we got to do. And, you know, instead of just beating the dead horse constantly. You know, and it's sad that we have to constantly do that with our people. But you know, we just want our people to see it, and we know that you all, we know that you all get it. We know that the people that need to be listening to this, those are the ones you're gonna have to share the videos with. You see what I'm saying? And you know, just make sure you smash that like button and share these videos so that people can get the message. And you know, we're kind of just been kicking it tonight, and we want to just get some interaction from you all as well too. So if anybody feels the need, they want to come on backstage, come on up. Love to have you on and everything. Or if you got any questions or anything like that, you know, just go ahead and bring it on out. And Brother A-Time just put the link in the box. But you know, Israel, look, hey, we are our brother's keeper, bottom line. And like the word says, you know, we got to hold one another accountable. And if we see our brother, we see our sister out of line, you know, we gotta correct that. You know, you don't gotta be like hitting upside the head and laying hands on them stuff, you know. But you know, we gotta correct our brothers and our sisters in truth. Right? So Hey,
Yeah. We just
that's,
gotta.
that's all I have.
Yeah. All right, Israel. You know, like I said, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but we gotta stick together, right?
Yeah.
That's our main focus, right? You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what the heathen has got going on in the matrix, right? That they we gotta keep our eyes on the prize. We gotta ignore what's going around us and then keep our eyes steadily focused on these scriptures, right? That's the only thing that's gonna make it, that's the only thing that's gonna get us through.
That's right.
Salakia, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's the only thing that's going to get us through is these scriptures. I mean, like without it, we're lost. And I know it's just like I don't know how many times or how many different ways, you know, Brother Daniel and I can say it, right? But you know, that's just really the formula, right? That's just really the formula. I mean, like if you look at the scriptures, let's say for example, right, the scriptures tell the women how to act, right? Hey, you know, just basically, you know, listen to your man, you know, be a help out, you know what I'm saying? Be a help. You know, and you know, don't be overdoing it. You know what I'm saying? With your mouth too much. Hey, that's easy, right? That's easy. I mean, like, what man don't want that? You see how easy that is, right? Just to get along. Now, brothers, right? The same thing. Now, if the brothers treat the women as Christ treated the church, right? If the brothers did the same thing, you know what I'm saying, as far as their end, you know, treated the women as they treated the church. Now, Hamashiach, he listened to the folks that were, you know, he's listened to his disciples. He listened to the people of the church. You know, he just all of a sudden, because he was a Hamashiach, he didn't all of a sudden just cut them off. Say, yo, man, shut the hell up. I know what I'm talking about. I'm the Hamashiach. You little niggas are nothing but specks that I created, you know what I'm saying, just with just a speck of my intellect. Shut the hell up. You see what I'm saying? Now, he could have said that. You know, he could have, hey, you don't even know how to create an eyeball. I made all your eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? When I just, you know, thought about it, you know what I'm saying? When I was thinking about how we're going to make a bird take a poop. You see what I'm saying? Like Hamashiach, man, he's just on such another level. But instead, the way he treated the church, right? He listened, right? He listened to the, you know, sent to disciples when they spoke, right? He listened to the people when they came up and they rushed them and they, you know, and they thronged them and they wanted to see a miracle and they wanted to see Hamashiach do great things, right? That's the way that Hamashiach, he treated the church. He had patience with us, right? Yeah, hey, true. Now there were times where, you know, niggas was straight out of the line and, you know what I'm saying, he whooped their ass, right? True, that did happen, right? But for the most part, right, that was only when they just got totally out of line. There was nothing else left to do. But for the most part, Hamashiach was patient. That's the same way the brothers got to be with the women, right? The same way that Hamashiach treated the church is the same way the brothers has got to be with the women, right? But sisters, don't expect good treatment if you out there just giving your body to everybody, because technically, if we're dealing with the Bible, you should be stoned to death. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, it's just that bad, you know, being sexually liberated, that if Hamashiach came down today and the laws, statutes, and commandments were you know what I'm saying, and they immediately go into effect, and you ain't repented, you get stoned to death, you get put to death. It's not even a question, right? It's not even a question. So, like, we got to remember those things. So, like, sisters, don't be thinking that you're way up here when you come to deal with a brother, right? And brothers, right, we don't need to be He-Man, super manly when you're dealing with these sisters, right? We need to meet right in the middle, right? Because we're a nation that's destroyed, right? We're coming, you know what I'm saying? We're coming from years of slavery, right? I mean, like, man, our nation has been in slavery for as long as any of us can remember, even way back in the scripture times. Right, we just been going through shit. I mean, so we just been going through stuff, right, over and over again, right? So we got to come together, and then we have to really understand each other, right? Hey, man, give each other a break for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Just give each other just a little bit of grace, right? Like the Most High has given us, and then, you know, we just might make it, right? By using this Bible as a foundation to grow on. Do y'all kick with family? How does a true set apart man woman spend leisure time? What can a newbie be doing right now? Let me see. Hey, I say this, brother, right? You know, we all got to make a living, right? We all got to make a living. We got bills to pay and things of that nature, right? Now, if you want to, you know, kick it with your family, you can do whatever you want. Right? I mean, hey, you know, throw the football, whatever. Well, you know, whatever fun thing you feel like doing with your family. There is, you know, there are no limits besides the things that we know that are wicked. Like you want to be out there celebrating Halloween and going to a damn pumpkin patch. You know what I'm saying? That's wicked as hell. you know what I'm saying, or anything doing, or you know what I'm saying, or anything like that, right? You know, a newbie, you should be in the scriptures, right? You should know, a newbie especially, you're in the beginning, you need to be in the scriptures as much as possible. That way you could be able to, any kind of wicked situation you come to dealing with the word, you know what I'm saying, dealing with the world, you automatically have these scriptures, you know, at the forefront of your mind that you can use them, you know what I'm saying, like a sword to cut down any wickedness, right? That's your main thing, because we don't want you to go back into the world. If you go back into the world, it's going to be 7 times harder for you to come out of it next time around. You know what I'm saying? Who knows if you even come out of it? You know what I'm saying? So in the beginning, a newbie, you should definitely just, you know, be in the scriptures as much as you possibly can, not to the point that it gets exhausting, right? Because we don't want you to overdo it, you know what I'm saying, get too zealous in the beginning, because then you might burn out, right? But, you know, stay in the scriptures as much as possible, right? Try to, you know, write you out a schedule about, you know, I'm gonna read this amount a day or something like that. Just, you know, set apart some time for the Most High, right? Just like the time He set apart to make you. All right.
Oh, good, y'all.
All right.
We're gonna let you enjoy your Shabbat.
Yes, what I'm gonna do. All right, Israel.
Have some meditation.
That's right.
Hey, Israel.
Thanks for stopping by, and same channel, same time next week. Pray, right? If you want to meditate, why don't you just I want to bring this last one out. Young, how do we meditate? One good way to meditate, if I was you, if starting new, I would meditate on writing out write you out a prayer, right? Write you out a prayer to the Most High, right? Something that try to make it the most just like these brothers, when you read in the scriptures, they have the the prayer of Manasseh, so forth and so on. You see how these brothers are just really with the utmost respect in the way that they talk to the Most High, you know, saying what they want to say and things they want to talk about the nation and to forgive them of their sins and things of that nature. You write that out, right? So write that out, really focus and meditate on what you want to write out, right? And then when you say it to the Most High, really mean that, right? And then spend time with you and the Lord, right? Spend time with you and Hamashiach, right? You and the Most High.
And the most simplest way to do it is just, the Bible says, be still and know that I am Yahweh. Sometimes you just got to be still, just wherever you at. Be still, turn off the TV, turn off the music. A lot of times we have all this stuff coming into our heads, into our brains and stuff, and it's causing confusion. Most High says, be still and know that I am Yahweh. So sometimes you just got to sit the hell down and just be still and meditate, think on the Most High, and just concentrate on that too.
Hallelujah.
That's the way to do it. Simple way to do it.
All right, Brother Daniel, take us on out, brother.
All right, well, Yashua, you all have a blessed Shabbat, and we stay shalom and stay strong.
Shalom, stay strong.
So.